Alright, in this video we're going to go over what we did in the last video, but we're actually going to throw some numbers in here as well. What we're going to do is find the angle in between the vectors v, being the vector -1, 4, -6, and the vector w being the vector 2, 3, -5. So the formula that we have for this is that the cosine of theta, the cosine of the angle in between these two vectors, is going to be the dot product of these two vectors divided by the product of their magnitudes. So what we're going to do is all of the work necessary to find all of these, get an exact answer, and then we'll use a calculator to round our answer to the nearest 0.01 degrees. So first and foremost, let's introduce that brand spanking new thing that we have, the dot product of v and w. We will multiply the corresponding components together. We have -1 times 2 for the horizontal component. For the y component, we have 4 times 3, and for the last component we have -6 times -5. By my calculation that would be -2 plus 12 plus 30 for a final answer there of 40 for that dot product. Next, of course, we need to find the magnitudes of these two vectors. We'll start with the magnitude of v. Magnitude of v is going to be the square root of the sum of the squares of the components of v. So we will be squaring -1, +4, and -6. That is 1, 16, and 36, which by my calculation would be the square root of 53. Now with that in mind, let's go ahead and try this out with the magnitude of w as well. So we'll be squaring 2, squaring 3, and squaring -5. That'll give us 4 plus 9 plus 25. Final answer there of the square root of 38. Now what that means for us is that we can set up the following expression. The expression will be the cosine of theta is going to be equal to the dot product, which is 40, divided by magnitude of v, which is 53, or square root of 53, and the magnitude of w, which is the square root of 38. I feel no need to simplify that further, and I'm simply going to say that theta is going to be the arc cosine of this big nasty looking fraction. Now it is at this point that I'm going to turn things over to the graphing calculator, so I'm going to position this up here like so that you all can see what I'm going to input to my graphing calculator. So with that in mind, first thing I want to do is make sure that my calculator is in degree mode. If it's not in degree mode, it's going to kick out a radian answer rather than a degree answer. So inverse cosine of the entire numerator should be inside parentheses and the entire denominator should be inside parentheses. Because the numerator is just one term, we don't really need those parentheses. We do, however, for the denominator, because we're going to be doing the square root of 53 times the square root of 38. So parentheses for the entire denominator and parentheses around the entire expression as well. So essentially what we just input to the calculator is something that looks like this. Pressing enter should get the calculator to kick out a good looking answer. So I'm seeing 26.96 degrees as our approximated final answer for this one. 26.96. Be sure to put the degree symbol up there so that I know that you're talking about degrees and not radians.